Should you buy Rainbow Six Siege in 2021? Rainbow Six Siege came out 6 years ago and has gone through many changes to fix balance issues, and many changes have been loved, but many have also been heavily disliked. Now, to make it clear, I suck at FPS multiplayer games. I have never managed to wrap my head around the pro players, etc, so if you're looking for a review from someone who is an absolute G-Fuel demolishing monster pro player, this isn't it. I'm coming from a simple, casual FPS player who enjoys online multiplayer from time to time, but often smashes his desk out of frustration because I suck. Now, with that out of the way, is Rainbow Six Siege worth buying in 2021? There is no single player, so we will be just talking about gameplay. Let's get into this. Let's start with mechanics. Straight away, I have to say that the mechanics here are without a doubt the best in terms of immersion when it comes to online FPS competition. There is nothing out there I can think of that can compare to the destruction of the maps along with the sound design and feel of the weapons. It's extremely immersive to have to dodge bullets coming through walls trying not to get one hit by a lucky shot, which tends to happen to me a lot. Which is irritating, but I will get into that in just a minute. Weapons feel good. There is a lot of variety due to the various operators you can choose, all designed with their own playstyle in mind, like Caveira, who has a pistol as her main weapon but can move around fast as hell without footsteps, which can lead to some intense cat and mouse gameplay. Or you could play someone like Sledge, who could smash any wall he sees with ease and tends to be my main because he's just fun as hell to play as a casual player, but is very loud when doing it, naturally, because he's just smashing holes through walls, so there is plenty of variety for whatever kind of gameplay you're into. Weapons do have recoil, but due to the way the gameplay is paced, most of the time it's very unlikely you'll actually have to worry about recoil too much, as Rainbow Six Siege is extremely punishing, especially if you turn around the corner at the wrong time, as you will almost always, and I mean this, get one tapped. So recoil isn't really a big deal unless you're playing as operators who are by design harder to play with due to their obvious tactical advantage, like an operator called Mirror, who could place bulletproof glass to see through walls, so naturally her main weapons had to be recoil intensive or it just wouldn't feel fair. So this sounds great, right? Super intense and immersive. However, a lot of these operators are locked unless you spend a bit of cash or play hundreds of hours with the standard operators, and there is nothing wrong with playing with the standard operators, but it's worth mentioning because you will be paying for a game based around the idea of a live service game and battle passes as well as loot drops, stuff like that. So that is a big negative for me, but it is a multiplayer based game, so they do need to monetize somehow to keep the game supported. You will be paying a flat fee, so it's one of those things that I'm a bit iffy about. It's not exactly black and white, but at the same time I wish live service games didn't exist, but that's just my opinion. Fortunately, you can get specific editions of the game. Unfortunately, unless they are on sale, it feels like a damn rip-off, so yeah, I'll get into that in just a second as well. Now, the gameplay is not perfect, at least for me, and that all comes down to pacing, and like I said, this is just a personal thing. Everyone is different, but my god, the game can get boring. If you want to play one game of ranked, you should expect to spend close to 30 to 45 minutes in one game, and that game will barely give you XP or credits, and let me quickly explain why the pacing often kills Rainbow Six Siege for me as a casual. You look for a game, that takes about 1 minute. You get into the loading screen, that'll take about 20 seconds. Then you have to ban a map that takes 30 seconds, or 15, I'll have to double check that. Then you have to ban 4 operators. Each operator pick takes about 10 to 15 seconds, so I'd say in total 60 seconds. Then you have to pick your operators and spawn location. That's another 30 seconds. And then you have a 30-second warm-up section where the attack or defending teams have to either barricade their position or find where the defenders actually are, and then you can play the game. So in total, just to get into one game without counting the time it takes to boot the game up, it would take you close to 4 minutes to get into one game. And that isn't counting the additional 30 seconds to pick your operators at the end of each round. 4 minutes for me is way too long, even for a ranked game. I know some fans will comment, well, just play casual, but the problem is, most people who buy this game won't be playing casual, which is why I'm specifically choosing ranked for this review. If you can hack waiting, then I'm sure this game will be for you, especially if you love competitive shooters, but as a casual player, it's just too long for me. This is all ignoring the fact you could be spawn killed as well, so you wait all that time to get in, only to die, or maybe you get a troll on your team and they just kill you instantly. The problem is, this game is really good most of the time, and yeah, there are some balance issues and Rainbow Six can get really repetitive and straight up irritating, but it's good, but it's also boring. Basically, this game is super niche. and is targeted towards esports rather than the average gamer. And there is nothing wrong with that, but this is a should you buy. You guys are the focus. So if you don't like very slow and irritating games, this just won't be for you. But don't forget, I suck at FPS multiplayer games, so definitely look up some other reviews. Never go off just what I say. I'm just a person who likes games just like all of you. The actual pacing of games are completely dictated by the players naturally. You can have some super fast-paced games that can be exhilarating, or you can have super slow campy games that can be intense for some players out there, but I just get too bored and tend to rush in like a moron. The balancing is strong, but it's immediately clear it's not great. The fact you even have an option to ban operators, and most of the time it's the same operators that get banned, clearly shows Ubisoft bit off more than they could actually chew, deciding that players should dictate what operators can be played, which I imagine irritated a lot of players, just like Overwatch when they started banning specific team comps. So as a new player, it may be more bearable to deal with pick and ban systems, but I do think it was the desperation of Ubisoft to balance the game that led to that decision. But it's still not perfect, as it's very clear some operators are just broken or just straight up annoying, which is why they get banned. So really, all it really did, apart from 1 or 2 games, is just take out specific operators, so I don't really know what the plan was there. The community is alive and well, but that also means that if you are a new player, you're going to face a lot of players who have been playing this game for years and will absolutely destroy you, making it difficult to get used to the mechanics, as they are very different from pretty much every other FPS game out there. So that is a good and negative thing. The absolute best thing about Rainbow Six is its unique take on the 5v5 squad-based competitive shooter when it comes to map design and the various ways you can manipulate those maps to your advantage. All in all, this isn't a very long review. Rainbow Six Siege is a good game, but it isn't for everyone and can be extremely irritating and boring at times. If you love competitive games, this will be perfect for you, and I do think you should buy it, or at least get Ubisoft Plus. But if you are just looking for a casual, fun experience, Rainbow Six is probably not for you. That's just my opinion. Make sure to check out other reviews. Thank you for watching.